Welcome to the Gita Wisdom series. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 60 states, "The senses are so strong and turbulent, O son of Kunti, that they can forcibly carry away the mind even of a person endowed with discrimination and practicing self-control." There is a story mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam which illustrates this point very nicely. In ancient times lived a great sage named Shoubhari. His name is mentioned in the Rig Veda as the Shoubhari Sutra, and he has authored a Samhita called the Shoubhari Samhita. The sage Shoubhari was not an ordinary sage. He had such control over his body, mind and senses that he was performing his austerities under the Jamuna water, submerged in the waters of Yamuna. Now, one day he opened his eyes. He happened to see two fish mating. That's it. That sight carried his mind away from his spiritual practices. He abandoned those spiritual practices and he came out of the water. He married the 50 daughters of the king Mandhata, who ruled the kingdom during that time. He expanded himself into 50 identical persons. He created 50 palaces. He made all the arrangements to satisfy his senses. Eventually, he had many children and they had many children. Like this, just Shoubhari, the sage Shoubhari's children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren formed the whole city. One fine day, this great sage came to his senses and he exclaimed, "Aho, imam pashyata me vinasham." He exclaimed, "Just look at me, how I have made myself so degraded. How much ever I tried to fulfill the desires of my senses never had the experience of fulfillment. O humans, please learn from my example and be warned not to venture in that direction." Yes. The statement made by Sri Krishna that even one of the senses can take away the mind from our focus. We will lose our sense of discrimination and the sense of self-control. So, my friends, let's make endeavors to discipline these senses. If your desire is of spiritual growth, then you have to carefully strive to control these indulgent senses which are colored with lust and greed. Or else they have the power to derail the spiritual progress of even well-intentioned people.